Messages of self-love, my story of self-love, my invitation to you to love yourself a little bit more every day. This morning I was listening to astrologer Pam Gregory, and at the end of her video, she gave her listeners a hashtag to start using, or phrase, however you want to use it. You don't have to use it as a hashtag. Love more loudly. Love more loudly. When she first said that, my initial thought, of course, went to how can I love myself more loudly? And I'll talk about that in a moment. But the first thing that I thought of was the volume of noise in the outside world, the volume of fear and worry and anxiety, the level of distraction and noise. So when I heard love more loudly, my thoughts went to love more loudly than the fear that is broadcast from the mainstream media 24 hours a day. So what does that mean? That means that if you're watching the news, if you're paying attention to the noise out there in the world and it's getting very loud, if you have that fear being broadcast into your living room every night, this invitation is to turn to love, to drop into your heart, drop into stillness, drop into love, and love more loudly than what you are hearing outside of yourself. So that's the first thing. I don't really know exactly what she meant by that. She didn't go into very specific detail about it, but that's what I came up with first. The second thing that I moved to was loving the people around me more loudly. Love more loudly. So to me, that means being more vocal in my expressions of love to the people who matter most around me. Saying, I love you, not just love you. No, put the I in front of it. It becomes more personal. It has more meaning. I love you. And I love you too, those of you who are listening or watching right now. And then, of course, self-love. What does loving yourself more loudly feel like, sound like, look like? How does that show up in your life? It could be looking in the mirror and saying, I love you. It could mean you speaking verbally out loud to yourself in a more kind, compassionate, and gentle way. What does love more loudly mean to you? What comes up for you intuitively when you hear that phrase, love more loudly? I invite you to reflect on that and understand, well, not that you have to understand. I guess it's an invitation. Like I do these videos with invitations for you to become more self-aware, more conscious of everything, and more self-aware. So this is just another invitation. Take that, love more loudly, and do some reflection on it, some introspection on it. What comes up for you when you think about the idea of loving more loudly in your life? That's my message of today. Love more loudly. I have said in other videos that I want to talk about the idea of self-forgiveness, and I will be talking about that. I had a breakthrough last week, but because of the holidays, yes, the holidays are over. It's getting lighter out later in the day, even if it's only by 10 minutes so far. So there's been a lot going on. There's a lot of activity around the holidays, and I choose to give this new information that's come to me this big aha moment that I had about the idea of loving myself more, accepting myself more through a practice of self-forgiveness. So I'm integrating it. I'm applying it to my life, and I'm living it. I'm not ready to talk about it yet because I want to talk about it from a place of experience. So there you have it. Love more loudly and be in relationship with yourself first, because the relationship you have with yourself is the most important relationship you will ever have during this lifetime on this planet.